Hi everyone. I'm going to do an impromptu video of my feelings on the first Aerosmith albums before they got back together with Done with Mirrors. So I'm going to go up to Rock in a Hard Place and then stop there. But I'll give you my ideas on the albums, what I think of them, and my favorite songs. I'm not going to do a best to worst because I'd have to think about it a little bit more, and I didn't make a list, so this is going to be from memory. The first album, called Aerosmith, I like it. It has a jazzy rock kind of a feel to it with some blues elements, and it's a good album to hear if you're grilling steaks outside and you have a party with friends and you're drinking beer and you're having fun. And my favorite song from it right now would probably have to be Somebody. But honorable mention is One Way Street, because that's also really good. The second album, Get Your Wings, that one's really good. That's one of my favorite albums by Aerosmith. My favorite song, I would have to say right now, Train Kept a Rollin', but SOS is also really good. Toys in the Attic, I never really liked all of that, their third album. There's some good songs on it, and my favorite on it would be No More, No More. And depending on my mood, I also like Round and Round. But it kind of fell short for me. And then the album Rocks, that is really cool. That's another one that I really like. And my favorite song at the moment might be Rats in the Cellar. But Combination, that's very close. That's possibly my other favorite song. So there you go. And then Draw the Line. That one has a lot of good stuff on it. Some of the stuff on side 2 I find to be a little bit filler. But overall, I think it's a really, really good album. And my favorite song on it would be, at the moment, Critical Mass. But I will say Bright Light Fright is also really good. And then the next album would be Night in the Ruts. And that I thought was good. I really dug it. I thought that it was kind of an underrated album that not a lot of people heard. But I liked it a lot. And my favorite song would be, at the moment, would be No Surprise. But I have to say Chiquita is pretty damn hot. That's my honorable mention. And then the Greatest Hits album, because I'm going to include the Greatest Hits album and the live album. The Greatest Hits album, I really didn't think that it hit the mark. I thought that the versions of the songs that were on the Greatest Hits album didn't sound with the right mix. And some of the songs were edited, and I only got it to be a completist. But the live album, Live Bootleg, I usually only listen to that when I wanted background music for when I was doing dishes. And it has a cool live feel to it, like if you're home and they have a concert in the park a few blocks away from you and you can hear the music in the background. It kind of has that impromptu, let's just go to the park, bring a basket of food and sit on the grass and listen to music kind of vibe to it. So I dug it. And I like Mama Popcorn. I think that's good. And the honorable mention is I Ain't Got You. So those two songs I thought were really cool. I didn't mention my favorite song, the Aerosmith's Greatest Hits, just because there aren't any favorites, but Come Together probably is my favorite on that. And then Sweet Emotion probably, just because why not, as my honorable mention. But then Rockin' a Hard Place, that was a good album, especially knowing that Joe Perry wasn't on it and Jimmy Crespo was on it. And Jimmy Crespo did a pretty good job of bringing his own sound without making the group totally different. My favorite song on there would probably be Jailbait, but I would say honorable mention is Rockin' a Hard Place, Cheshire Cat. So there you have it. The reason why I'm not going to do any more of the albums is because from this point on, I pretty much stopped getting Aerosmith albums. I've heard some of their stuff that they did on later albums, but to me, I'm an old school Aerosmith guy. So even though they have the same members as they did originally, it sounds kind of like a new band to me. But if any of you want to make comments like, hey, you should listen to this song off of this album, and it's like the old Aerosmith sound, feel free to let me know. But it would be nice if you mention, like, if it's a song off of a newer album, that you mention what album of the earlier period it sounds kind of like. So then that way I can have some kind of reference point. Because some people might say, oh, the album from 1989 sounds like their old stuff from 1984, when you really have to think of the 70s of their old stuff. So please be aware of older Aerosmith albums, the ones I mentioned. Otherwise, if you say, hey, you're not giving Aerosmith a chance, it's not that, it's that after a while I moved on to other groups. But I do occasionally listen to an Aerosmith album from the period after what I mentioned, but most of the time I don't. Anyway, I did this for fun and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone. Bye.